So it's still in acres, yeah.
Are you going to have your own HQ? okay, we will just start anyway. So the mics are on. Okay. Okay. So hi everyone. I'm Daphne from Wild Space. And with me, I have my team that are all around here, and also Jasvic from OWN. So welcome to Wild Conversations. So what is Wild Conversations? It's actually a very casual conversation that we have over food and drink. So please feel free to eat and drink if you have. And we usually invite a guest speaker to talk about their topic of specialty. And we hope to raise awareness and educate and inspire action for conservation and wildlife and all other causes related to the environment. So we would like to thank our venue partner, Equal. So we are at Equal today and we're participating in their festive Christmas market for lending us their beautiful space. And we also like to thank our videographer, photographer, Kelly, Sean and Ashley right at the back. Thank you guys. So if so all this will be posted on our social media. So if you do not want to be on our social media, please let us know. We also collect contributions for our partners. So what we do is that because Wild Conversations is a free to attend event, we try to raise funds for our partners. And today we're raising funds for Equal. So I think we all know what Equal is. They do animal assisted services for disadvantaged communities. So you can contribute through here if you like. And of course, Wild Conversations is free. And if you'd like to contribute to us to continue the good work, you can also please make an indication here. So I'll pass this around and you guys can kind of, yeah. Okay, so let's start. Today we have Jasvic. I will give a little introduction on who Jasvic is. She is the campaign manager of Our Wild Neighbours, as you can see here. It is an island-wide initiative and a multi-stakeholder campaign to promote human-wildlife coexistence in our city and nature. Jasvic's journey in wildlife conservation and education started when she embarked on an art project documenting wild animals that have died from human activities in Singapore. So her project is actually called Death by Man, and it's actually showcased at Lee Kong Chian Natural History Museum now till
April.
Yeah,
April.
Yeah, so if you are free, please head down to take a look. She actively involved herself in volunteering and working with ACRES, which she'll tell you more about later, as means to better understand the interactions between people and animals and how we can build a better relationship with our wildlife. So yeah, I'll pass it on to Jasvic. Yeah.
Okay, hi everyone. So thank you, Daphne, for the introduction. So I'm the campaign manager for Our Wild Neighbours. How many of you heard of us? Okay, a few of you. So we are actually relatively new. We were launched last year on 22nd April 2022, which is Earth Day. So it was launched by Desmond Lee and it consists of all the different nature groups. So these nature groups, they came together and they decided that in order to tackle the issues that we face in Singapore in terms of like having negative interactions between us and our wildlife, it is to educate the people on wildlife etiquette, what to do and what not to do. So this is our goals. It is to promote coexistence and then of course equip the public with knowledge. And we also want to raise awareness on the rescue, rehabilitation and release efforts in Singapore. So works done by ACRES and embarked. Okay, so don't worry, this is actually a video, but let's skip it because it's actually not very clear. So this one is actually taken from Google Earth. So what I want to show is that why this is so important is because over time, because of urbanization, all the different, not sure if you can even see, 1984, you can see like Singapore looks like that, where there's still a lot of green patches around. And then last year, you can see that these areas are all urbanized already. So you can tell that because of our urbanization, our spaces are more, we have more encounters with our wildlife right now because our spaces are starting to overlap. So it's very important to learn how to coexist with our wild neighbors. So I'm going to run through the 10 species that are in our campaign. So these 10 species are frequently encountered in Singapore. Of course, except the crocodile. So we do have crocodile under one of the list. But that is because we also want to raise awareness that there are such animals here. So I will start off with the long-tailed macaque. If at any point you have any question, just feel free to hop in, raise your hands, and ask questions, yeah? Okay, so long-tailed macaques, they are also called crab-eating macaques. So they do eat crabs, and they can be found in the mangrove area. They can be very silly. They are very intelligent. They are very curious. They can be found in many different types of areas in Singapore. So it ranges from the mangroves to nature reserve to even urban areas like in your neighborhood. So anyone has encountered a macaque in your neighborhood before? Neighborhood? Yeah, because sometimes there are cases where there is a lone macaque that goes into people's estate. And there's always this one macaque, and then people tend to say like, oh, the macaque is lost. But don't worry, the macaque is not lost. These are called transient individuals. So when they reach maturity, they will actually leave their family to look for another troop to join, or they will form their own troop. So these are the ones that they are traveling along the way, but as they are passing through the neighborhood, they realize that there are free food because there is coffee shop, there is rubbish bin, there are people feeding. So if there's free food, why not, right? Like even for us, if you give me a free buffet right in front of me, I will stay. So that is the idea, which is why we should never feed wildlife, whether it's directly or indirectly. Yeah. So in their troop, there's usually about 20 to 30 individuals in a troop of macaque, and they have very strong family bonds. So even though we see that there are a lot of macaques in Singapore, right? Some people even see them as a nuisance. But we have to realize that we are actually very privileged to have them because their conservation status globally, they are actually endangered. Yeah. So they are very important to our ecosystem because they help pollinate our forests. So like durian, they also eat the durian and they also help pollinate the durian trees around. Like I said, they are very intelligent, so they will observe us how we open food cans or Pringles or anything along the lines of, so long something that can be eaten, they will try, and if it's tasty, they will eat. So human food is highly processed. There is a lot of sugar, a lot of salt. So it's something that is very addictive, even for us. So to them, it's a new flavor, and they get hooked onto it, and they want more. But it's actually not healthy for them. So even though some of us think that, are you so cute, or they are hungry, but actually it's very bad for their digestive system. So we are doing more harm than good if we are feeding them. So if we don't take care of our waste, we leave our trash out, especially like food packets like that, that is where the monkeys will come because they are also opportunists. Any opportunity there is, they will take it. So to prevent this from happening, we will need to put bungee cords on the bins. So this is a video. Oh. Oops. I think you need to find
the right button to
find
press.
the cursor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The cursor, correct? Yeah, it's playing.
Yeah.
So you can see that the macaque is trying very hard to pry open the rubbish bin, but just a simple bungee cord is preventing it from opening the bin. Yeah, so actually there are very simple methods of preventing all these things from happening without harming the animals as well. So we just got to get like creative. Okay, I think we can.
Right?
Yeah, okay, so exclusion measures. So how do you prevent macaques from coming into your premise, especially those who are living in those landed properties? You may encounter macaques more frequently because you stay beside the forested area. So of course, is to remove the food source and then to secure your bins, either through bungee cord or creating a safety lock mechanism. And then you also use curtains or blinds, like you can see over here. Oh, where's my... Okay, it's not working. You can see over here, this macaque is just sitting by the window's edge, but there's a blind. So macaques are like us. We are visual creatures. We see food, we want food. But if we don't see food, to us it doesn't exist. So same thing, just use the blind, very simple. Window grills, of course, and also to store food in opaque containers and cabinets. Yep. So, do you all know why why there's an X here? Disturbing the? Monkey, yeah. Sorry, it's a very small monkey. Yeah, correct. So when this happens, actually if you do have a pet dog, you have to put your dog on a very taut leash so that your dog don't get excited and run towards the macaque. So what you do is that you stand in between the macaque and your dog. Yeah, so you become the barrier in that sense. So why is this important? Is because dogs can get excited. They don't know. They just, like us, when we see something, a cool animal, we're like, oh my God, cool animal, yeah. So same thing, dogs sometimes react that way. So we need to prevent that from happening. And then for the wild animal, they may not understand why the dog is reacting that way. So they may take it as the dog is attacking. So it becomes negative interaction. So we should always prevent that from happening lah. So yeah, I pass you one, yeah.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
Good job.
Okay, so what you should do if you see or if you encounter a macaque, so of course, for anyone who carry backpack, right? Like if you go nature reserve, anyone stay at Bukit Timah area? Yeah, so Bukit Timah area, very well known for a lot of macaques at that area. People either go for the nature reserve or they come back from Beauty World with all their supermarket groceries, right? But the macaques have already been conditioned to see these grocery bags as food source. So when you take out your grocery bag, it's immediately food, and they will come for it. So if you have any groceries, put it in your bag. If you're carrying a backpack, put in front of you. If you're carrying a tote bag, also swing it in front of you. Then of course is to walk confidently. So you don't show that. I mean, it's natural to feel a bit worried because you're unsure of the animal, but you don't have to, kind of run away or anything. Just stay cool, stay confident, and then walk past the macaque. They won't actually do anything to you. And of course, to appreciate from a distance, some people like to take selfies with the macaque. Not a good idea. So, and also don't mimic their facial expressions. And of course, don't touch and don't feed them. So these are the facial expressions. So there are 4 facial expressions that are the ones that you should take note of. So one is lip smacking. So lip smacking is quite obvious lah, huh? So this one is showing like contentment, affection within themselves. Then there's the fear grin. So fear grin is not smiling. It looks like they are smiling, but please don't smile back at the macaque if the macaque does that to you. Yeah, because fear grin, like the name says, is showing fear. So if the macaque show you its teeth and you show back, it means that you are also scared of the macaque. Yeah. And then the other one is warning and yawning, which looks very similar, but you can tell the difference from the eyes. So like us, when we yawn, we close our eyes. It's natural. I know it looks intimidating over here, but it's because they have naturally sharp fangs. So it's just how they are. So you don't have to worry. It's just tired. And for warning, of course, is the eyebrow raised, the eyes open, and the mouth open as well. So you just think of it in a human context. It's like, when the gangster see the other person, it's like, you see what I see. That kind. Yeah. So anyone can tell me what the macaque is saying? Come, I got manic. Which one?
The second one.
This one? Lip smacking. Okay, what does it mean?
It means that they show affection towards one another.
Okay. Then?
When you got warning.
Okay.
Means like they're giving you a warning not to disturb them.
Okay.
Then you got yawning.
Uh-huh.
Fear grip. which we fear green rally, which is basically trying to like show you that they're like scared.
Yeah, correct. Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Good job.
Okay, so now we move on to the next one, wild boars. So wild boars, they have very poor vision. Yeah, but they have very good sense of hearing and smell. So you always hear like there are articles saying that the wild boar charge at people or attack people, right? It's actually, more often than not, is because they get spooked. So they're actually very timid animals, even though they look big, but they are kind of like scaredy cats, lah. You know? So if you can't really see that well, but you can hear and smell, when I suddenly scream for no reason, you will definitely get spooked because that's all you hear. So same goes with the wild boars. When they hear a sudden noise, they will get spooked and they will start running in whichever direction that's convenient for them. So that's where accidents do happen. So if you see a wild boar, please do not scream, do not yell. Just, you can talk, but calmly. Yeah. Don't suddenly like, oh my God, a wild boar. Yeah. Please don't do that. Yeah. And then fun fact is that they are young. They are nicknamed watermelons. Yeah, because of the stripes. So if you go YouTube, right, you search how the watermelons actually camouflage themselves. Is very cute because when the predator comes, the mom will dash off first, leaving her young behind. And then the young will just, because they can't run that fast, they'll just like kind of collapse and blend into the ground. Okay, they will run a bit, but then after that, they'll give up. And then this is what happened in Singapore, where food waste is not disposed of properly. So that's where the wild boars will come out into the urban areas. That's why we see a lot of news reports about, wild boar coming out into neighborhoods, and then we are wondering like, this type of animal live in forest, why is it outside? It's because they are attracted to the smell of food, and like I said, they have very good sense of smell. But we also need to know that the African swine fever, which was a huge concern recently, does not actually, it's not passed to human, it's not zoonotic, which means that it only affects the members of the pig family. So there's nothing to be concerned about. It's so long if you see a dead animal like a wild boar, please do not go near it, contact embarked. Yeah, so anyone can tell me 3 things you should and should not do when you encounter a wild boar? Anyone on this side? Don't shout, okay. Don't walk towards it. Stay calm. Okay, wow, all 3 have it.
Okay.
All work
Here you
together.
go. You can pick here, you can pick one, and then here, last one for you. Thank you.
Yeah, so like they say, stay calm, don't scream, don't yell, observe from a distance, don't use flash photography because they have poor vision. If you suddenly flash at them, they're also going to get a shock because they don't know where that light is coming from. Don't touch and don't feed.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Are wild boars strong enough to... what happens if you see a wild boar in a car and you flash at it?
White one?
If you see a wild boar on the road and you flash at it using your car headlights, what will happen?
It will get started and it will run in whichever direction
so
that
it can
it's...
run towards a car as well?
It can run towards a car. There is a possibility. We won't know what goes on inside the wild boar's mind. Yeah. But in all cases, like, just don't flash any light towards a wild boar. Yeah. So snakes, my favorite species in the whole campaign. Yeah. So for snakes, we have this famous reticulated python that we've been seeing all across the news. So they are the most common snake in Singapore, and they are also the longest species of snake in the whole world. So they can grow up to 9 to 10 meters. That's the longest they have been recorded. But in Singapore, they only grow up to like 2 to 3 meters because of the lack of large prey. So these snakes, they are non-venomous. They are constrictor, meaning that they cut off blood supply by coiling. And then that's how they kill their prey. But I can tell you they are very lazy snakes lah. So, before doing this, I was actually volunteering as a wildlife rescue volunteer with Acres. So I have handled this snake before, and so far all my encounter with a python, the python has always been very relaxed and calm and like doesn't want anything to do with me. Like I can be just facing it and it's just looking at me. Yeah. So we are always afraid of snake because of how the media portrays them. But then actually if we don't do anything to the snake, they also don't want anything to do with us because they are solitary creatures, which means that they want to live alone and they are antisocial lah. And if you see one snake, you will definitely not see another snake unless it's mating season. Yeah, then you will see two snakes. The second most common one is the cobra, the black spitting cobra. So we have two cobra species here. We have the king cobra and we have the black spitting. But black spitting one is the second most common snake in Singapore. You can find around pretty much all over the island. And even though you see some coloration here, right, if it's not standing and it's just flat on the ground, it's just a normal plain black snake. Yeah, totally no color. So the media always shows that they are standing upright, the hood open, like, oh, very scary, right? But actually, the cobra only do this as a defense. So when a threat comes, and because the cobra, I mean, any snake don't have hands and legs or anything, right? So the only thing they can do is either the venom, the bite, or, you know, in nature, they always come up with very creative ways to make themselves look bigger or more threatening than they are. So for cobra, they will actually stand and open the hood. That's the first warning sign to say you back away because if you come any closer, I will defend myself. And then the second one, if you still go near it or you still provoke the cobra, which you really shouldn't do, and I don't know why you would want to do that also, it's to hiss, the cobra will hiss at you. Yeah. Then if you still go near, yeah, that one very questionable already. The cobra will definitely, the final one is to spit. But the spitting, right, is the last resort. It has to be a very calculative move because for a cobra to even use its venom, it will actually take time for the venom to regenerate again. And snakes have venom is to kill their prey. So if they use up the venom, means that they cannot eat. So if you are the snake, you'll be thinking, should I use it for food or should I use it for this person who is just not getting the hint? Yeah. So I will definitely want to use for food, right? So I will try my very best to run away, then use my venom on this person. Then the other common one is the paradise tree snake, also called the garden snake. So very, very pretty snake, lots of colors, mildly venomous, only can enough to kill like lizards or bats, small prey, and they can glide. Yeah. So they are called like flying tree snakes, but they can't actually fly because, you know, they don't have wings. So they will actually go up to the top of the tree and then they will launch themselves down to a lower tree when they see like lizards or bats lah, by actually flattening their ribs. And then we have the, oh, it's a video, but it's okay. Yeah, it's a short one.
I have my.
Okay. So this one, some of you will know the meme lah. It's the judgmental shoelace lah. So it's this famous snake. So if you don't recognize it, this one is the judgmental shoelace snake, also called the oriental whip snake. So why is it whip snake? Because it's really, really slender. It's like a whip like that. And it's bright neon green. So it's actually very easy to spot this snake at MacRitchie Reservoir, which is nearby here. Yeah, so another question, are all brightly colored snake venomous? No. Okay, correct. Who? I don't know.
I heard no from both of you.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Collecting stickers.
So you see, like, they are, okay, you may think like, okay, this one like normal brown color snake, obviously not venomous. But then there's also this one that is also non-venomous, but it's very bright. And then there's the gold ring cat snake, which is mildly. This one also mildly. But then the two cobras, which are all plain color, they are highly venomous. And why you should never, even knowing that some snakes are non-venomous, don't try your luck to handle any snake lah. Because if you are not a trained expert or you cannot identify, and in fact, if you have nothing to do with the snake, please do not even go near the snake. So, for like these two snakes, they look similar, but one is non-venomous and one is highly venomous. Yeah. So, if you are not able to identify snakes, that can be it can be something very dangerous, because some people will misidentify or they tell their friend, I know this one non-venomous, which does happen. There are videos where people like video like on TikTok and then they say like hey, this one non-venomous one, no need scared, but actually it's wrong. Yeah. So I have seen, my friend have sent me before, her uncle videoing a king cobra eating a monitor lizard, but in the video, the uncle is telling everyone to come nearer, no need scared, because it's a python. So please do not try to do that. So long as any kind of snake, or in fact any kind of wildlife, just respect the space. Have a space between you and the animal. So now we have the monitor lizard, we have the Malayan water monitor lizard, and then we have the clouded monitor lizard. So monitor lizards are very important for our ecosystem because they eat on all the dead carcasses, so they are like the cleaners of our nature spaces. And this is the kind of thing I wish I can do after lunch every day. So they can climb trees, they can swim, they have very powerful tails. And sometimes you will see them hugging. But they are not showing affection. These are actually two males. They are wrestling for territory. So this is a video, yeah. So you can see these two males doing a tango with each other. Yeah. Yeah, for territory. I should add in some tango music. Yeah, so in this case, like, you don't have to interrupt their fight. It's all part of nature. Okay. Yeah. Okay, saltwater crocodile. So saltwater crocodile are also called salties, not because they are salty, but yeah, they in fact, even though they are called saltwater crocodile, they tend to occur more frequently in freshwater environment. Yeah, and you can find them in Sungai Buloh wetland reserve. So down here you can see one that's trying to eat the horseshoe crab. So in the mudlands area, you can see saltwater crocodile. They can grow, if I'm not wrong, up to 6 meters around there. Yeah. And even though they look very slow, they actually can be very fast in short bursts. So their hunting method is always to stay there, and then if something comes close enough, they'll just turn. Yeah. And they do come up to the on ground level to actually either bask in the sun or to just, hang around, look at people, no lah. If you were to go in Sungai Buloh and if you see a crocodile by the side, please don't go and take a selfie. There are people who try to do that because it's a cool animal, but you will never know their reaction because, like I say, they can just suddenly turn and snap. So they are not dangerous if you do not go near them. Yeah. So this guy, I think this one was reported in Mothership. Someone actually came across this crocodile, adult crocodile at Sungai Buloh. He managed to walk past the crocodile without any disturbance lah. So if you are afraid, you can always turn back and alert the park ranger. Okay, then we have our furry friends.
So cute.
Like, oh, so cute. Yeah. So otters, we have two species of otters here. We have the smooth-coated otter, then we have the Asian small-clawed otters. But I'm going to talk about the smooth-coated because they are the most commonly encountered one. Yeah. So even though we see that there are a lot of otter reports in our social media, right? But the population here in Singapore is fewer than 200. Yeah, so if you see the people around this whole event, right, I'm probably guessing that there are, I don't know, 300, 400 people at this event today. Yeah, so you imagine the whole population in Singapore is actually fewer than all of us here. Why it seems like there's a lot of them is because a lot of us take photos of them. So like, let's say me and Daphne, we take photo of the exact same otter, but then we post on our social media, so suddenly it becomes like two otters, but then it's the same otter. Yeah. So when you see a family of otters, always do not go near them. Stay several meters away. It's okay to take photo, but again, don't use flash. So they are very protective of their young, super protective. So even though we talk about like coexisting with the otters, what to do and what not to do, we also should consider that our litter and our trash do affect them as well. So you can see like different reports. These are only a few. There are way more reports. So you can see like metal wire slicing through the body. Yeah. And then the pup died, the hook in the mouth, and then even, you can't believe it, but this photo is actually in Singapore. So every little bit of trash that we have sometimes get blown or drift off into the waterway, and that's where it affects our wildlife. So we should also be mindful of our trash. So like I say, they may seem a lot, but then conservation status-wise globally, they are actually listed as vulnerable, which is just one tier down from endangered. Yeah, so in Singapore, we're actually very privileged to have all these animals in such close proximity to us, and it's very easy to see them. Whereas in other countries, like when they come to Singapore and then they see the otters, the macaques, they are like, oh my God, you have this at your backyard, but why are you all complaining? Yeah. And then, of course, the otters, we always wonder, like, why do they like to eat koi fish? It's because it's convenient. Yeah, it's not because that they see like, oh, expensive thing I want. Yeah, they are not materialistic. They just see it as convenient. So they are very curious creatures. They run around the island. They search for different things to, places to explore. Sometimes they come across like someone's pond, and then the pond is like, you know, it has all the food in the world. Why not, right? So they just dive in. That's where they start eating the koi. But because there's a lot of food, too much in fact for them, then that's where they only eat a portion and then they will leave. Yeah. So they can't actually differentiate between like wild fish and pet fish, because food is food, right? Then if you want to exclude the otters from your area, especially if you have like pond or maybe your relative or friends are facing this issue, you can suggest like slippery barrier or using material so that they can't actually like climb. Oh, but they can jump. So make sure it's high enough. Even if you put like that, then they jump over. Yeah. Then for your gates, you can actually cover up the gates below, because they sometimes do go from underneath. This one is the least favorite way of dealing with it, but it is effective, which is to use netted barrier over the ponds lah. Then there is actually an exclusion project that was done last year by the Otter Working Group, which consists of acres, embarked, and other researchers as well. So they went around Seletar Hills to actually implement all those measures, and it was successful. So you can read about that on our blog. If you go onto our website, there is an article on it. So another question is 3 things you should and should not do when you encounter a family of otters. Don't use flash, okay. If you realize like a lot of things are repeated, so what was I saying?
Don't use flash.
Don't use flash, don't need to remember. Some more.
Don't come too close.
Don't come, okay.
Don't come too
Yeah. Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
put a barrier around your pond, all right?
That one is more
Here
of
you
like
go, you get
exclusion.
2.
Yeah.
There you go.
So same like the macaque also, make sure your dog is on a taut leash, because you know when dogs see another animal that kind of looks like them or looks like a cat, they get excited as well, especially otters, they tend to run a lot. Appreciate them from afar, don't use flash, don't touch, and don't feed. So now bats. We have 2 types of bats. We have the fruit bats and then we have the insect bats. So like the name suggests, that's what they eat lah. So fruit bats are the very cute looking one, look like puppy. You see on YouTube, always eat the grape, nom nom nom, yeah, that one. And then we have the insect bats, which is the one with very, very small eyes. They are super small. And they are very good at keeping our neighborhood clear of mosquitoes. Yeah. Then we don't have vampire bats, but we do have false vampire bats. And that's really the name. I'm not saying like, that's really the name of the bat. It's called false vampire bat. Yeah, so they are also part of the insect bat family. Yeah. So if you are worried that these bats actually carry any form of disease, embarked have been doing like a survey for years already, and there's no zoonotic diseases found in Singapore, so there's nothing to worry about it. So if you encounter a bat that is either grounded or it flew into your house, right, this is what you can do. For grounded bats, always call acres or embarked, which I'll give the numbers later, for assistance. Don't try to handle the bat yourself because you may get bitten lah. Then if it flies into your house, always off the ceiling fan, off the lights and open the windows. So why off the lights? Is because bats are nocturnal animals. If you on the light, the bat is blind. So for us, we need the light to see, right? But then you have to think of it in reverse. So a lot of times people open the window, they off the fan, but they leave the lights on, then they just stare at the bat. But it's not going to work. So if you off the light, that will actually help. Then we have the common palm civet. If you don't know what a common palm civet is actually the animal that produces kopi luwak. So kopi luwak is actually unethical because they have to only eat coffee bean for their entire life in order to make the coffee. So let's say if you go to Bali and then your tour guide say, I want to bring you to a kopi luwak farm, you can always just say, I want to see something else lah. Then you can always spend your time more meaningfully elsewhere rather than supporting kopi luwak. So it's the exact same species of the civet that we have here in Singapore. And they smell like pandan. I have not encountered a live one yet, but I heard they smell like pandan. Yeah. So if you don't see any pandan plant around, right, maybe it's a civet lah. But the smell is coming from an anal gland. So I don't know if that's something you will want to smell. Yeah, they are fantastic climbers. They are arboreal, means they live their lives in the trees. And they are young. Sometimes people do encounter them around the area, especially on the ground, right? But because they look super cute, they look like little lost puppies, people tend to bring them home. or they want to call acres or embarked for help. But actually, this animal, the mom will sometimes go off for a while to look for food. So the babies will just hang around at that area while the mother is away. So if you actually go and take away the babies, the mother come back is like, where's my babies? You know? So always leave the babies there for a while unless you realize that the babies have been there for more than 24 hours. Then that's where you need to call acres and embarks because they may be abandoned. Yeah. So what are the signs that seabirds may be present in your area is, of course, poop. So their poop, to me, is the most cute. It's very cute lah. You can see like it's like little lumps, like berries. Some people even call them bubble tea. Yeah, over here.
Not really.
And then this one is actually by Dr. Vilma, who she came here yesterday to talk about tigers. Yeah. So it's actually found at her house after the seabird ate a papaya. Yeah, that's why the color is so vibrant. Then of course you can find the paw prints, you can smell pandan, or maybe you can even hear noises in the roof. Most of the time people will call in because of the noise in the roof, the sound. Because the young, they like to actually scruffle around to play with each other, then that's where the noise happens. So what invites these two nocturnal animals is, of course, the fruiting and flowering trees or plants, and then there are roosting trees, especially like banana, where it's like it's a very nice tent for them to hang there during the day. And then dim and dark areas because they are nocturnal, and areas where they can cling on to hang, especially for the bats. So how you can prevent them from roosting in your area is to use magnetic mosquito mesh. It's kind of like a two-in-one thing where you can keep the mosquito out, you can also keep the seabird out. Yeah. And then you can use gunny sack to cover your fruits before you harvest them so that they won't get eaten. And then there's also metal sheets to wrap around pipes that the seabirds like to climb. So this is I also did wildlife management before this. So this is an actual case that I went down at Alexander Hospital where they have seabirds running around the area. So we suggested using this aluminium sheet to wrap around the piping, yeah, and the seabird sightings actually dropped. So if you happen to go at Alexander Hospital, this wrap is still there, so you can look out. And then there's also motion sensor lights, which, I mean, nocturnal animals, they don't like lights, so it's something very easy to install. So long they walk past, they see the light and they realize that, okay, this area is not a very favorable environment to live in. Eventually they'll move to another location. And then to seal off any entry point, the gaps in the roof. But of course, you should only use the mesh for seabirds. If you use this for bats, they are going to cling on. And then you're not solving the whole situation. So for bats, use acrylic sheets. Then we have pangolin, everyone's favorite.
Last animal?
Around there.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I'll breeze through real quick. So pangolins can climb. Their babies will ride on their mom.
So
yeah. Cute. And they have super long tongue. So this tongue is actually used to pick up termites. And their scale, right, is actually made of keratin. So keratin is the same material as our hair and our nail. But they are heavily trafficked around the world because people think that their scales have medicinal properties, but actually that's not true. Because it's made of the same material as our hands and our nails. If we think that there is medicinal properties, we can eat our hands and nails. Yeah. So this is one rescue case. And another video. Yeah, this one is actually quite recent. So someone came across a pangolin walking along the street. Yeah. And this is actually what you should do if you encounter, you can always video, it's fine, but don't use flash, don't shine any light. You realize that he never leaned forward to touch the pangolin. In fact, he backed away, and then the pangolin just went along his way. So this is correct. You can always whip out your phone and take picture, but never go too near, never use flash, and don't try to interact with the animal. Yeah. Okay, so the biggest threat that pangolins face in Singapore is the roads. Yeah. Then we have koels. Anyone know the sound? Oh, suddenly so many koels around.
That was pretty good.
Yeah, suddenly everyone like, yeah. Okay, so koels, right? It's the males that make the sound, not the females. So the males are the black ones, and then the female are the brown ones. They are brood parasites, so they're actually good for our environment because they help control the crow population. So brood parasite means they don't build their own nest. They actually take advantage of another nest. So it's like they will go for the crow's nest, and then they will lay the egg. They will kick out the crow's egg, and then they will let the parent raise their young. So it's like work harder, no, work smarter, not harder. Yeah. Okay, so how you can coexist with them is to invest in noise cancelling earphone. Then also, if you really have, let's say, a lot of koels in the area, you can also drop feedback to this feedback form to embarked. Yeah, so to call, not to call, very quickly. If you see the macaque at the bus stop, or if it's touching you, whether should you call or not to call?
Not call.
No.
Not call. Okay, yeah.
Touching you.
Yeah. This is actually my colleague. Yeah, this is my colleague. So you don't need to call because they are just exploring the area. The macaque is actually not doing anything to her. The macaque is just curious. So the macaque actually just came up to her to kind of pet her, like how we pet a dog. The macaque in that area was conditioned to see people as a food source. So people have been feeding the macaques in that area, which is why the macaque came up to her to actually kind of pet her, but it didn't work lah. So too bad. For a chick on the ground? Call? Yeah.
Reunite first, right?
Huh?
Reunite first.
Right first?
Reunion first, right? Reunion.
Reunion. Okay, so correct is to call. This is because acres or embarked can come down and they can help reunite the chick to the parent. Yeah, it's not good for us to bring home the chick even though we feel that we can care for the chick. It's because first we cannot identify the bird. Anyone know what bird this is? No, no, right? Okay, so you should not bring back because you don't know the bird. This is actually a minor lah. So the rescue officers, they will know best on the species and how to care for the young. And then when the young is strong enough, they can actually bring back to the same location and reunite. This one, the monitor lizard with a snake in the mouth. No. Okay, correct. Don't call. This is part of nature, is hunting. So whether win or lose, this is just part of how the natural world works. Then this one, under a tree, in your house.
Yes.
Call.
No need.
Okay, yeah, no need to call actually. Yeah, let it exist because they're just chilling there, you know, they're not doing anything. And in fact, if you have the bats at your garden, it means that your garden has super sweet fruits, you know, you should feel proud of it. Yeah. Then we have 2 wolf snakes on a glue trap. Call, yes. This one very obvious, it's definitely to call. So glue traps are a huge problem because people tend to use them because it's like a cheap way of catching like the lizards, the cockroach, right? But because the lizards and the cockroach are the prey, so that's where the predator comes. So when the predator comes, that's where they get caught. So, and glue trap means that they do have a very slow death because they starve to death or sometimes they even suffocate to death because they struggle and the glue gets onto their face.
Call or WhatsApp?
Sorry?
Call or WhatsApp?
Both.
You can do both.
You can do both. Okay, so finally, I encourage everyone to save the numbers on your phone. Yeah, for both numbers, so that next time you don't have to go and Google like what's acres, what is embarked's number. Everyone save ready?
Yeah.
Huh?
Is there a difference between those two? Like what kind of situation which we call acres, what kind of situation?
Oh, not really. So acres is actually a charity organization lah. So for acres number, you realize it's a handphone, right? So you can actually send photos of the animal or the situation, and they can access it through their phone and advise you. Whereas, of course, embarked is just a number lah. Yeah, but both they do rescue animals. Yeah, and they can give advice. So everyone safe ready, right? Now tell me. I know, straight away take out the phone. I got manic.
Okay.
I got car decal.
Acres is.
1783 7782.
That's embarked.
1800476162.
Wow.
Okay.
Fantastic. Well done.
Yeah, okay. So the rest of you safe ready, Later I ask you again. Yeah, so how you can support us is to spread the message of coexistence. You can also volunteer with us. You can donate items for a roadshow. The wish list is on our Instagram. You can contribute wildlife photos also. Like all the photos you see are all contributions. And then you can use our hashtag, Our Wild Neighbours SG. And if you have contact for any venues for us to maximize our outreach, also please do share, because we do go out for roadshows. Yeah, so that's our Instagram and that's our website. Oh, thank you, everyone.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Jasvic, for sharing that super entertaining talk, and I'm sure everyone learned quite a bit about the native wildlife that we have in Singapore. And if you need more information, you can always speak to Jasvic after this. And I hope a little takeaway is that you can share this with your friends, with your family, and what you've learned and how to interact with our native wildlife in Singapore. Next up, our wild conversations will be heading back to the city where we usually have our conversations. We usually have it in downtown, right in the heart of the CBD. So it'll be at Marina 1 the next time at Nude Seafood. Details will be up on our Instagram and on our website. Our next speaker is actually Singapore's only giant clam scientist, Dr. Nyo Mei Lin. She is a researcher at the Tropical Marine Science Institute of Singapore on St. John's Island. She now works on conservation and management of giant clams in Southeast Asia. So yeah, do join us then. It is on Thursday, 25th of January, 7 to 9 p.m. As usual, it's a restaurant, you can eat, you can drink, and yeah, join our conversation. So do stay tuned on our social media and on our website. We do also have a guest book there that I would like everyone to go sign just before you head off. It is on our native wildlife series. I don't know what that one is. Do you know?
Sure, can you go and look at it?
I think it might be like a...
Some sort of shark.
Okay. Probably a...
It's a white t-shirt.
Yeah, probably a white tip. So yeah, so please do sign off, write a note for us. We hope to make this into an exhibition someday. And yeah, don't forget to follow us on Facebook, on Instagram. We're at Wild Space. And also, yeah, stay wacky, wild, and curious. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, guys.
Are you sharing about Slack?
Oh yeah, maybe I'll do a little bit of sharing about Singapore Wildcat Action Group that a couple of us here are also part of. So if you go downstairs, you'll see two standees and posters about tiger conservation. So we are also from the Singapore Wildcat Action Group, and what we do is we do tiger conservation and we do wildcat conservation. So one native wildlife that we have in Singapore is actually the leopard cat. It is our only wildcat left in Singapore. There are not many of them left. There are only about 50 of them. We also, like our Wild Neighbours, we also do roadshows, and we also do outreach programs to educate public about how we can protect our last wildcat of Singapore. So to find out more, you can go to our website, swagcat.org, and you'll find out a lot more about tiger conservation, wildcat conservation, and how you can be part of it. We do run what we call a leopard cat quest, where we take people on a night walk to Pulau Ubin to look for the leopard cat. So do join us, it's quite interesting. We also do run, for those who are 18 years old and above, we do run something called a cat walk. So we take people out to the Malaysian jungle to go on a walk, which is called Citizen Action for Tigers, where we walk to patrol the forest, and while protecting the forest, we deter poaching. So poaching is done by people who are there to catch wildlife, either for their own consumption or for sale. And as they deplete the forest, that also depletes the tiger's prey, and also it might catch a tiger, right? So that's what we try to do during our walk. It's a 3-day, 2-night walk, and we are having a flash promotion for this walk. So from now till next week, if you quote equal the word, you do get 100 ringgit off your walk. And yeah, more details can be found on our website downstairs. So you can do take a photo of that, and do contact us and let us know if you're interested to join. Yeah, so thank you so much, and do head over to sign the guest book. Thank you.